A mixer is a kitchen appliance intended for mixing, folding, beating, and whipping food ingredients. Mixers come in two major variations: hand mixers, which is this, where you just spin it like that, or stand mixers, this one. Today we'll be talking about stand mixers, but more specifically the KitchenAid. The KitchenAid mixer is large and is made to use in homes as it sits on the countertop. It has an agitator that is stationary and holds beaters and blades that turn easily and consistently, while a bowl of the mixing ingredients stays safely and strongly attached to the KitchenAid. There are several different mixing speeds to give control over the process. The beaters can be of different shapes to best beat or whisk whatever is in the bowl. This mixer was invented in 1908 by Herbert Johnson, who worked at the Hobart MFG company. He made a food preparer that held about 80 quarts and began selling these machines to commercial bakers and to U.S. Navy vessel chefs. In 1919, however, Johnson's company changed its name to KitchenAid when one of the housewives testing the machine said, "I don't care what you call it, all I know is it's the best KitchenAid I've ever had." Step 1. Plug in the mixer. Step 2. Pour ingredients into the bowl. Step 3. Decide which mixing accessory you'd like to use. 4. Begin mixing. KitchenAid mixers originally sold for $189.50, which would be about $2,000 nowadays, and it weighed about 65 pounds. However, by the early 1930s, the Sunbeam Mixmaster came out, which was a little smaller, and it reduced the price to $18.25, which would be about $240 now, as opposed to the $2,000 for the KitchenAid. At that point, mixers caught on as they made an incredible difference in the lives of home cooks. The U.S. Postal Service even portrayed them on a 1998 stamp series as the definitive image of the 1930s household conveniences. The KitchenAid has two major benefits. 1. Time saving. Bread couldn't be bought in the store as easily as it is now. It takes about 5 to 15 minutes to completely prepare dough by hand, whereas it only takes about 3 to 5 minutes to completely prepare dough with a stand mixer. 2. It's physically easier. Kneading the dough by hand takes manual strength, which some people just don't have much of, like me. The mixer makes this process much easier for anyone to make the dough, and it can work all day without getting tired. The KitchenAid also has two possible risks. 1. Electrical shock. An assumption of a risk using this device is that you could get electrical shock from getting the motor wet, but there's no evidence of this ever happening because the motor is inside and it'd be really hard to get to it. 2. Space. As you can see, this machine is really big, takes up a lot of space on the counter, and it's kind of heavy, so it'd be hard to move. The basic design of the mixer is the same today as it was in the 1920s, showing it's very nearly a perfect invention. I have 2 predictions for the future of KitchenAid. 1. Attachments. The first attachment was a pea shucker, which really can't even be purchased today as most home cooks don't sit around and shuck peas, but they go out and buy already shucked or they eat them whole. Newer attachments include homemade sausage makers or homemade pasta makers or ice crushers that can all attach to this, and so I think in the future there would just be more attachments like that of different things, maybe like an ice cream maker, something like that. So my second prediction is the battery. KitchenAids right now, you have to plug them in. I think that they will probably become battery powered in the future so that they can be used anywhere and not just near a plug. Maybe even with computerized controls or something that detects when the battery is ready so it knows when to slow down the speeds or speed up. They would just be able to adjust the speed or the time accordingly.